It's another segment of the Who's Who in African American Lit series that we put together for DJ Gas's book club and the Book in the Hood Facebook groups. Who's Who in African American Lit is not only a Facebook page, it's also a book by the same name, and soon to be a documentary produced by myself, WB Media, Music, and Television. Now, today we're going to talk about a good friend of mine. She's from California, talented author, ghostwriter, and just a darling to all who know her. She's a fashion icon. One of the most beautiful women I've met in this book game. And her name is Miss Kennedy DeVoe. Now, Kennedy is the author of Amazon bestsellers Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. It Makes Us Even. With friends like these who need enemies. Just Can't Do Right. An instructional book called I Am Writing a Book, Now What? And the book that we're going to talk about today, Why Does Love Hate Me? She's CEO and president of DeVoe Publications. She also works in the nonprofit sector as a program director. She has an associate's degree in early childhood studies, a bachelor's degree in business management, and a master's degree in human services. She hails from Carson, California, and currently resides in the Los Angeles area. As I said, she's been a good friend of mine, a good friend to this show. She's been on the talk show with DJ Gatsby various occasions, Blog Talk Radio show. I've actually promoted and or read all of her books. She's been very generous in that way, making sure DJ Gas's book club, Books in the Hood, and Who's Who in African American Literature reviewers always had access to her books, and she's very generous in sharing her time and her work with me and the groups that I represent. Staunch supporter, DJ Gatsby and the talk show, man, and I just really can't say enough about Miss Kennedy DeVoe. I actually was supposed to meet her in New York at the Harlem Book Fair one year when I was living down in the DMV area, around Maryland area. But nevertheless, we became good friends and supported each other in so many ways. The book that we're talking about today, Why Does Love Hate Me? It's a strange title. And I discussed that with her. But hey, listen, if you read the book, you'll see why she says that about these fictional characters that she constantly writes about. Two wrongs don't make it right. It makes us even. And again, Just Can't Do Right. And all these other books, man, are relationship books with a twist. And she's made quite a reputation, writing these books, spending time with book clubs. She's at book readings, book signings. She's very, very available. Very prominent on social media, Facebook and Instagram. This current book, the one we talk about here, the main character's name is Queen Dupree. Now, Queen Dupree has been lucky in everything else but love. One failed relationship after another. She continues to believe that love hates her and maybe it's just not in the cards for her. Then she meets Jamari. And the question is, will love finally deal Queen Dupree a fair hand, or will she end up with another joker? Again, talented Kennedy DeVoe, one of her many books. And I encourage you, if you love fiction, fictional romance, love stories, please check out Miss Kennedy DeVoe. Visit her website, www.kddevoe.com, and hit her up on Instagram or Facebook. She loves to chat, she loves to talk, and is very, very friendly. We love her. at DJ Gass's book club as well as Books in the Hood, man. So big shout out to Kenny DeVoe. We had to feature this book. It's pretty only one I could get a hold of just in time to do this show. So Kenny, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Next, we have a book that was published by my publishing company, WBMG Publishing. It's written by a childhood friend of mine. We grew up together. I've known him since I was, early teens. He was a good friend of the family. He grew up, in Spring Valley, New York. He was a childhood singer. He was in a singing group called Brothers and Friends. Him and his brother, as well as two friends, formed a group called Brothers and Friends. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about George Naeem Cash. Good friend of mine, man. Good friend of the family. We DJ'd together. He was part of the crew that we had. Again, he was a part of a group called Brothers and Friends. Him and his brother Mike Cash, as well as two other brothers, Keith and Curtis Hamilton. Peace go out to them. They passed away recently, so rest in peace, Keith and Curtis, man. And we miss you, my brothers. And it's been a pleasure knowing you. And condolences go out to your families. But back to George Naeem Cash. He had a troubled life. At times with a charmed life. But he writes about his experiences in the criminal justice system in New York State. It starts off with another book that he had written, The Good and the Bad. These books are spin-offs from his story that's based on his life. The prison life is one of my favorites because it tells you about a life in a world that many of us will never experience or never ever see. But at the same time, this story rings true to all our brothers and sisters that have been incarcerated at some point in time in their lives. And it chronicles some of the things you will see, hear, and experience while in the criminal justice system. Or, penitentiaries and jails in New York State. Again, it's called Prison Life, from best-selling author of The Good and the Bad, George Naeem Cash. Prison life is something many of us will never experience, and hope and pray that they never will have to. But for convicted felons, their friends and families of those who have been to prison, this book will shed some light on the very real situations that prison inmates encounter every day. Prison Life is the first book in a series of books dedicated to taking you inside the walls of maximum security prisons such as Sing Sing, Green Haven, and other notorious maximum security prisons in New York State. The series is a spin-off, as I mentioned earlier, from the book Good and the Bad by the author, George Naeem Cash, and it centers around his life after he was sentenced to prison for gun, drug, possession, as well as bank robbery. George Naeem Cash is an inspiring singer and musician till to this day. Composer who plays about 5 different instruments, writes, arranges, produces, and records all of his tunes. His books are available on Amazon and paperback and Kindle. His music is also available on streaming services. So once again, man, WBMG Publishing, author, published company that I started, man, and this dude, really supported me in a lot of ways, by bringing his books to me to have them published, touring around the country, man, to promote these books, from New York to Atlanta, Oklahoma, South Carolina. He really put in the time to promote his books, and is still writing to this day. Actually, The Good and the Bad, which was released a few years ago, the trilogy that he has, the second book that we're looking to publish. We're not even looking to publish. He's looking to do some self-publishing and start his own publishing company to have his second book on The Good and the Bad come out. So once again, George Naeem Cash, man. Follow him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out his music on music streaming services, man. And support this brother. Good dude, personal friend. Next, we have an author and actress, single mom, very talented young lady who's an author, poet, spoken word artist. Her name is Joy Lon from Oakland and Berkeley, California. She received her undergraduate degree in African American Studies at University of California, Berkeley, and her graduate degree in education at Stanford University. She has written several books, which include Signs of Life, Past, Present, and Future. She performs as a spoken word artist in the Bay Area on a regular basis, and she's currently working with urban youth and raising her daughter in the Bay. Her name is Joy Alon, one of my favorite people on the planet, man. If you ever get a chance to check out my TV show, the DJ Gatsby Show, on YouTube, check out the interview, and she'll tell you about the life struggles and trials and tribulations that she went through as a child, and that she had to overcome to get her degrees in African American Studies and go on to get a graduate degree in education at Stanford University, one of the most respected institutions of higher learning in the country. She's also an actress. Her daughter has acted in movies, and she continues to be an outspoken activist against gentrification and other injustices that plague people of color in the Oakland Bay Area. This particular book that we're talking about, one of my favorites, one of the first books that I came into when I met her, called Silence is Not Always Golden, A Poetic Revolution. It's a book of poetry. It's a collection of poetry that has defined the norm. She goes on to say the title was inspired by the Black Panther Party's Huey Newton's quote, "You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolution." Instead of writing what people want to hear, she says she writes what people need to hear, the truth. Sometimes the truth can be beautiful and sometimes it can be ugly. Her words and her voice are her weapons, and she has to speak up on her beliefs. She goes on to say, other people may not feel as powerful to speak up, so I speak up for them. I cannot sit there and not say anything. I was taught that you cannot do what everyone else wants. You have to do what you want. It's important to be you as an original as there can be, and people will try to put you down because they're different. I say try because only you can let them. There is more to life than making a living and surviving. You must fulfill your purpose by pursuing your dreams, because if you don't, life will pass you by. Very, very powerful statement right there, man. And she sums up the synopsis by saying, my words are my way of fulfilling my purpose because I am making my dream a reality, and I'm showing you that you can do the same. Again, man, very powerful story. Spoken word arts and poetry is something that people take, kind of lightly.